Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Real Talk. This is where I get to rant about the things that I don't think anybody is really covering in Southern California real estate. My name is Stephen Meade. I'm the managing broker here at Domicile real estate for people who love houses. Let's go ahead and get started. I think that there is an old adage in real estate that needs to go away. And that adage is it's all about, wait for it, location, location, location. I'm not saying that this is a wrong thing. In fact, it's definitely not wrong. Location is very important. But I think it is a very limited view of understanding the most important thing in real estate. So I'm going to suggest that we toss location, location, location aside, give it a hero's funeral, and welcome in what I think really is the word that's defining Southern California real estate, not only now in this second, but really going forward. And that word is scarcity. I think scarcity is the primary force that is working in our market, not only on a short-term basis right now, but on a medium-term and a long-term basis. And I'm going to tell you why that is important to you. And if you stay towards the end, I'm going to give you what my personal real estate strategy is at the moment and what I think is the most important thing to understand. So let's start off in the short term. In the short term, our market is controlled by scarcity of listings. This is the reason why prices have not fallen in any truly appreciable manner, despite interest rates going up very quickly, very suddenly, and very extensively. Now, we've eased off some of those interest rates, but the fact is the market hasn't, quote unquote, reacted the way a lot of people have expected. And that's really because we just don't have the inventory that will allow that. There is a scarcity of homes available in the market. So that's what we're looking at right in front of us. Now I'm going to talk about the medium term of scarcity. And this really pertains to where you are buying. So this is like location, but it's different. And I'm going to explain why. The most important thing I tell people about real estate to understand, if I'm going to tell somebody, people say, what's your one tip, the one thing to bear in mind? And this is the advice I give them. Whether you're buying this as an investment, whether you're buying it as a place to live, you want to buy real estate in places that people want to be, not places that people have to be. Now, what's the difference between a want to be and a have to be? Well, I will give you an example. Santa Monica is a want to be. Laguna Beach is a want to be. Mission Viejo is a want to be. Long Beach is a want to be. Los Angeles is a want to be. Now I'm going to name just some of those places that are a have to be. Menifee is a have to be. Lake Piru is a have to be. Santa Clarita, for a lot of people, is a have to be. And the problem with have to be is really temporary demand. It's demand that isn't on a solid footing for people, because the second that people don't have to be somewhere, they will choose to be somewhere else. And that makes these markets quite a bit more volatile. So when you are thinking about what areas to buy and why this really is scarcity, let's look at where a lot of the new construction is happening. It's happening in these very far off places. And these are places that people have to be, because that's where they can afford a home, because that's where they can get the square footage they want. Add up the reasons, right? But nobody is saying they want to be in these places. They don't have a lot of inherent desirability. And why are we building out in these places? Because of a scarcity of buildable land in the places that people want to be. And I don't see that effect changing anytime soon. I think that will be pertinent in the next 5 years. Now let's talk about the long term. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the advice that I give clients when we sit down to talk and they say, what's going to happen in the next 10 to 20 years in real estate? Because that's really where you're going to change your trajectory. And this is what I want to talk about to you. And scarcity is a funny thing, because a lot of times when something is around for a long enough period of time, we assume that it will always be available. And if it is always available, it is not scarce. What am I talking about in real estate? I'm talking about what I call the traditional single family home layout. And this is a detached property, usually on a lot between 6 and 8,000 square feet, enough of a lot where you have actual personal yard space, you can host parties, et cetera, et cetera. This is the bulk of our housing stock right now today, but that's changing. And it's changing for two reasons. Reason number one, we are not building a lot of new single family homes. The reason we're not doing this is because the economics simply do not work. What we are building a lot of is ultra high density detached properties. You've seen these around. They are typically 3 stories tall. The homes are extra close together, and you usually have a patio of outdoor space, if anything. So we are building a lot of that, but true traditional single family homes with a yard in Orange County, the newest properties that are being built and the cheapest in that category are 1.7 million and up. So we're not adding a lot to the housing stock. This was a staple of, middle class consumers. The second reason that we've got for this is changing laws. And we have enacted a number of laws to increase housing supply that actually not only do they say we're not going to create more of these single family homes, we're actually going to take away from that housing stock. City of Los Angeles has a special zoning type that basically lets you subdivide a single family lot and build 3 detached homes on them and sell them separately. So what we are doing is we are reducing the amount of traditional single family inventory out there. And what happens if you keep reducing inventory of something, it becomes scarce. The final thing that I want to talk about with this is the changing demographics in these neighborhoods. When we see a home go up for sale, especially if it's a long-time owner, the socioeconomic demographics of the buyer of that home are very, very different than the seller. The buyers tend to be considerably more affluent. They tend to be more well-educated. The nature of these neighborhoods is changing, and it's changing quickly. And I won't make this a debate about whether we're for or against gentrification. I'm just pointing out exactly what's happening. And I think all of these things are going to combine to create a scenario where these homes increase in value at a higher rate, or they become more valuable relative to higher density offerings. 40 years ago, oceanfront homes with ocean views, they were a premium in price, but not nearly the same premium they are today. What happened? Why did that change? Well, frankly, we built out the coastline, and aside from nature preserves and government bases and military bases, there's not a lot of land left to build those types of homes. We had a finite supply of them. They have generally all been built, and they have gone up in value faster than other types of housing. So anyone in the real estate industry who is paying attention, which admittedly is probably only 50% of realtors, in my opinion, but anybody who's really paying attention understands the wheels are in motion to increase density. That is going to happen, and this property type is going to become scarcer and scarcer, and it will be more and more highly prized, especially because I think a significant portion of the population doesn't believe that it will go away. It has always been there, something that's available, and while it's gotten more expensive, there have always been, entry-level single-family homes available at prices that, maybe they're a little bit more affluent people today, but generally younger people could buy first homes. It might be dual income now with decent jobs, college educated, but we're still seeing that available. And I think that is going to go away. And when that goes away, I think there's going to be a bump in the value of these types of properties when they simply are not available any longer. So that's my own personal strategy. That's just being real with you, what I see happening in the next 10 to 20 years. I could be wrong about that, but we've already seen this starting a little bit with the oversized lot homes, right? That is a bygone lifestyle in California. I think some buyers have started to recognize that won't be around forever. And we're seeing acceleration of the price of these homes with over 10,000 square foot lots. And I think we're just going to see that trend continue, especially when you add in the potential that some of these buyers feel that they might have to subdivide those lots at a later date and make even more money. So that's being built into the pricing of these homes. And with these increased density provisions, they will allow many more homeowners to do that. So there's a hidden profit center in these houses. All of this will combine to make these homes more expensive versus other property types in the future. So that's all I've got for you today. Remember, scarcity is really the key word in real estate. If you're going to think of one thing, understand that concept of scarcity and how it applies really to every transaction, to every market segment when you're thinking about real estate. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. If you are looking to buy or sell residential real estate in Southern California, we would absolutely love to chat with you and see how we can help you and lend you our expertise and strategy. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Questions and comments, as always, we love those too. And we'll see you again real soon.